Hey, what's up? I'm Ga. We're back in Outerplane, and we gotta talk. We got a new character today, along with an update. I'm gonna put the patch notes in the description if you want to know everything that happened in the latest update. Go check that out. Because I'm not gonna cover, some of the little things here and there. There's some decent quality of life improvements, some bug fixes, yada yada yada. But the biggest thing we got is Tamara, or Tamara, however you want to pronounce her name. This character is absolutely broken. Like, we have not seen a character with this high utility, just, absolute borkedness, since Valentine, probably. Like, there is no other character that compares to just the amount of nonsense that Tamara can bring to your team. She does fill a similar role to Valentine, but she does not entirely replace Valentine in certain teams. And in a lot of cases, you're going to end up wanting to run Tamara and Valentine together, because as you'll see, we're going to jump into her kit real quick. I'm going to explain a couple of things here and there, and then I'm going to give you my overall thoughts on exactly what this character does to the game, does for the game. But let's jump into her kit real quick. So her skill 1 attacks one enemy. If she scores a critical hit, she has a guaranteed dual attack from the ally with the highest attack on your team. This is basically Val's exclusive equipment, but guaranteed. Like, guaranteed. Granted, she doesn't have any sort of priority push on her skill 1, but it is still absolutely bonkers. Because you can literally just build her 100% crit rate, you can build her 50% crit rate with Valentine, and you are going to go to dual attack city. So her skill 2, Smokescreen. This is her burst skill, when you have AP for that. So what this one does, it increases crit rate for your entire team for 3 turns. And on burst 1, it increases crit damage as well. So this is basically just Valentine's skill 2, especially once you get her level 3 burst, she gets an extra turn. So this is literally Valentine's skill 2 with some extra effects. If she scores a crit, she inflicts silenced on the target, which is completely bonkers. If you guys don't know, silenced forces the target to only use their skill 1 or their basic attack for 2 turns. It completely shuts down the rest of the enemy's entire kit, essentially. And then on top of that, burst 2 will also increase effectiveness for your entire team, which can be really nice for certain debuffers. It can also work well with some other things that are in Tamara's kit. This skill overall is absolutely cracked. Now, so for her ult, it attacks all enemies, the big AoE, and reduces defense. Defense reduction by 50%. This is insane. And then on top of that, if she scores a crit, she increases the cooldowns of all targets by 2, or increases cooldowns of all targets by 2 turns. So if silenced wasn't enough for you, this will basically shut down an enemy's ult. It'll shut down their skill 2. It'll prevent them essentially from bursting for 2 turns. So if you use this first, get the cooldown reduction or increase on all enemies, that means they're locked into skill 1 for 2 turns, and then you hit them up with the silenced off of her skill 2, lock them down for another 2 turns. So this is essentially 4 turns of locking down a target out of their burst, out of their ult, out of like 90% of their kit. It's frankly broken. It's absolutely wild the value that this character brings to your team. Not only is she going to be buffing crit rate crit damage, effectiveness, performing dual attacks. On top of that, she is also turning your enemies into shrimp. Like, she's going to make them a non-issue. Like, she'll shut down entire teams in PvP to where they pretty much can't do anything. And then in PvE, she's going to prevent the boss from ulting you. She's going to make your characters do more damage by reducing defense, increasing crit damage. Just, her kit is absolutely stacked. It's loaded. It's insane. And then for her chain, she applies Marked. If you guys don't know what Marked does, it makes the target take more damage. So in PvE, if you can get her chain off, which is not very hard to do, you just put her on your team, build up some CP, and then bada bing, bada boom, you have defense reduction on top of Marked. Your characters are going to be absolutely slapping. And then her dual attack effect is whatever. It increases damage dealt proportional to caster speed. You probably won't be getting too many dual attacks with this character off, unless you are running Valentine and you use Valentine's burst skill 1, and Tamara happens to have the second highest attack on your team. But other than that, you're probably not going to be dual attacking with her, where she's the one performing the dual attack too much. But her chain, her ult, her skill 2, her burst, her skill 1, literally everything this character has to offer is just insane. Like, I would say right now, this is probably a must-have character for any account. You're not going to regret pulling for her because she's absolutely broken. Like, maybe not as a DPS, she's not going to be, you know, slapping people goofy with, you know, 120, 130, 140,000 damage like Demi-Aste, but she is going to make your team better. And speaking of Demi-Aste, let's go take a look at the PvP meta with this character. So, I'm gonna jump into Arena real quick. Now, you can see pretty much everyone is running her. On defense, myself included. Part of this is because there is a bug with this character where if you attack someone that has Tamara on their team, your game will crash. So she is literally and figuratively broken, but I'm assuming the devs will fix that soon because, yeah, PvP is literally unplayable if your game keeps crashing. But if you were to have a real game against a team with Tamara on your team, essentially what's going to happen is you better hope that the Tamara on their team is not faster than the Tamara on your team. Otherwise, on AI, Tamara opens up with her ult, and that is going to shut down your skill 2s and 3s on your entire team. And if you didn't know, Demi-Aste's skill 2 is the one that lets her revive. If she has cooldown on that skill, she will not revive. So that effectively made this character borderline useless. Which is very unfortunate that they power crept a premium character literally, you know, in like a couple of weeks after her release. So if Tamara lands her skill 3, Demi-Aste can't revive. If Demi-Aste dies while her skill 2 is on cooldown, she is dead. Okay, got it? Do you understand the state of the PvP meta right now? It is literally just the Wild West. You slap a bunch of speed on your team, you hope you're the fastest, you hope you don't get screwed by speed variants, and then whatever happens, happens. So that's, it is what it is. We'll have to see how the meta evolves from here, but right now, I can tell you this much, Tamara is literally just too good to pass up on, you guys. She is so broken, you're gonna want to have her. Trust me. Even if you don't do PvP, even if you're not a PvP player, she's absolutely cracked in PvE. She's going to be phenomenal in Guild Raid, especially the Kasai Guild rerun coming up next. She's going to be absolutely just cracked across the board in every piece of content. And in my excitement, I think I forgot about part 3 of the event. Part 3 should be out. Yes, it is. Let's go take a look at what is in the event shop for week 3 real quick. I mean, it's something. I got some more gems, get a glue knight. I think I can pick this up. Yeah. Alright, cool. Yeah, so hopefully you guys are enjoying the event. I thought the story was charming so far. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the update, you guys. Go get yourself a Tamara, even if it's just one copy, even if you got to use your mileage. Go get her. She's good. And I think that's pretty much it for the update. Oh, almost forgot. We got new gear. New gear. All right, so finally we have a light gear boss. So this is the Sacred Guardian. She is going to drop 4 sets. The Penetration set, the Revenge set, and the Patience set, and the Pulverization set. So going from bottom up, I don't think the Pulverization set is worth it. Break is too short of a duration of any given fight to really take advantage of this damage. You really want to have more damage just across the board rather than, pinpoint focused on, one specific segment of the fight. Now, if you had a team that could break a boss like crazy fast and do it constantly, I could see this set having some value, but it is also a 4-piece set for a very specific instance in a fight. I don't think it's worth it. Now, the Patience set increases defense proportional to missing health. This is basically just like Leo's exclusive equipment for everybody. I don't really think that this set is worth it, even for defensive characters. I would rather just have like a full HP set, because having more survivability from the start of battle rather than having a little bit more survivability like when your character is almost dead, I think is a big difference. Now, this set might actually be worth it on some characters. So this increases attack proportional to missing health. This is the Revenge set. Has pretty much the same effect as the what is that weapon? The Violent Sledgehammer for strikers. Now this is available to any character. This could be good in certain instances where you can't bring a healer, but you need more damage, or in PvP, this could be interesting. This is not a set that I would personally grind for, but if you are able to passively build one up while you're grinding for, let's say, Penetration set, it doesn't seem terrible and could warrant some testing. But at the end of the day, I think I would rather have like penetration or speed or crit damage, rather than a set that gives me more attack at low health. A crisis set, if you will. Now, penetration set is absolutely cracked. Penetration is one of the best offensive stats in the entire game, assuming that you have enough crit rate, crit damage, and attack. Now, as soon as you've hit the threshold of attack and crit damage, penetration just gets more and more and more and more and more and more and more value. So 20% might not seem like a lot, but if you pair that up with a penetration necklace, let's jump into the codex, go over here, penetration necklace. These things at maximum have 36% penetration, So you pair that with the 20% penetration set, and you are essentially ignoring almost 60% of the enemy's defense, which, you know, if you have enough attack and crit damage, your attacks are just going to straight up do more damage. It's very simple, very, very simple. Especially against high defense enemies like the Chimera. So if you guys don't know, Chimera has probably the highest defense in the entire game. Look at this, almost 5,000 defense compared to I don't know, Masterless Guardian, for example, who only has like not even 2,000 defense. So against sturdier bosses, sturdier enemies, penetration is actually just gonna straight up pop off for you. And also in PvP, certain characters are rather bulky, like Leo, for example, or some people are building their Mines rather bulky. You see some characters running around with like 2,000 defense. If you can reduce that to, you know, like 800, that's just more damage. So penetration equals more damage. Very simple, very easy to understand. Penetration is absolutely cracked. If you get a chance, I would definitely farm out for a penetration set. This boss, I really didn't have too much trouble with. She gets a little annoying with constant stuns, which is rather weird because Dark doesn't really have a way to deal with stun very well. But she's pretty squishy. She goes down pretty quick, at least in the current stages that we have available. We do not have stage 11 and 12 yet, but she's not too hard to farm, or at least beat, in my opinion. But yeah, those are all like the big things we got this this update. New character, new boss, some bug fixes, yada yada yada. But yeah, like overall, I'm pretty happy with the update, especially with this broken new character. She's fantastic, you guys. Go get one right now. Don't come back until you got one, okay? All right. Do it. Just do it. And we'll see you in the next one, okay? Bye. Peace.